And hello, everyone. Good afternoon. As an reintroduction, my name is Austin M. I am an account executive here at Yooz. I head up our QuickBooks Eastern division for our North American clients. So, again, very excited about this opportunity. Today, we're actually going to be taking a deeper dive into accounts payable automation, how we partner with your organization to bring you the highest level of automation in AP. So, let's dive over here into our next slide. We're not going to go over all of this information here today. However, we were born in the cloud in 2010. So that's not all of our years of experience. We have over 35 total years of experience in deep automation and deep OCR experience. We are a global company, process millions of documents per year. One specific thing that I like to go over every time is that we are a people company and we invest 25% of our income back into research and development just so we stay on top of the latest technologies for you guys. Heading on over, there's a couple of awards that we won in here for cloud software as a service. Over here are going to be a couple of the customers that or clients that we work with here. So some of them might be recognizable to you. On this next slide, now I will say typically in today's world, organizations usually have different solutions for different needs. They'd have something for purchasing, something for invoice processing, something for payments. You get the idea. So what we found out was that consolidation really is key. AP departments typically want a bundled solution that can automate the whole AP process and solve their issues from capture to payment and everything in between, including PO generation, budget tracking tools, OCR, payments, and even a strong integration with QuickBooks. So if I head over here, here's what the demo is going to be covering today. Really, the goal of Yooz is straight through processing of your bills, right? We want to say, hey, all these invoices look great. Let's pass them through our workflow, and then we're going to be good to go. If there is, however, an invoice that requires extra attention due to something like missing information, for example, we want to be able to put a red flag up and say, hey, let's put that into your exceptions queue or a simple list that's easy for you guys to be able to review. Although not completely needed, your team may be able to create things like purchase requests or purchase orders that we can start in this left box, as you can see here. Then, as soon as vendors email you over an invoice, we can immediately route them from your email address into the Yooz application with our capture technology. Now, while this happens, we utilize AI to be able to extract the data off your invoice in around 20 seconds. So following this, we're going to go through our workflows for that straight through processing from review to approve. We can handle the payments for you guys too. And then all the way to the export into QuickBooks. So one last slide before we hop into our demo here is going to be the integration with QuickBooks. So it's important to know where all this data and all this information that Yooz processes, where does it lead to? Right, with QuickBooks Online, we have one of the strongest API connections here. This means that whenever you're done processing bills in Yooz, the data will automatically export to QuickBooks Online without you having to touch anything. Similarly, any changes you make in your QuickBooks instance, things like your chart of accounts, your vendors, lists, classes, and customers, these will automatically update on the Yooz side as well. So the two systems will be able to talk to each other effortlessly. Now, for any QuickBooks Desktop or enterprise users, we also have a strong connection so that data processed in Yooz can be posted to your QuickBooks, as well as the syncing of your vendors, accounts, classes, and customers as well. Now, if I can switch gears here over into our demo. Amy, could you confirm for me that you could see the demo site for Yooz?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So with this being said, this is going to be the demo and the user interface for Yooz. Right now, I am under the profile of Andy, the accountant. So Andy's here. He's the primary reviewer of a couple of these invoices or bills coming over. When they do come over, they will be loaded up in his list for him to review. So very simple. Invoices can get, as I mentioned, as soon as the vendor is able to send over the email address, or sorry, the email over to your email address for the invoice, then if we head over into our capture workspace, we will automatically route that email invoice over to the Yooz application. Again, that's an automatic process. You won't have to do anything. There are other means for you to be able to upload an invoice, such as with your phone, SFTP server, share drive, really whatever you can think, we've done that. So besides that, I've preloaded a couple examples for us today, just for time saving purposes. And so those invoices have now loaded in my to-do list. In this to-do list, we have 5 different invoices, as you can see here. They have a clear task to be able to review. So in my current workflow setup, it's pretty linear, it's pretty easy. It just needs to get reviewed by an AP staff first. Then we send it over to an approver for approval. Following that, it can be paid inside the Yooz system, and then finally exported over to QuickBooks. So if we take a deeper dive into one of these invoice examples here, we have one from Granger. From the eyes of the reviewer, again, it's pretty simple. I click inside of here. I would say one of the biggest challenges in today's world involving invoice processing would be the manual data entry component of it. It just takes a lot of time, takes up so much more time that's necessary. And so best practice with Yooz is to click on this document date field. It is going to create a red bubble on the invoice data set. So invoice date, document date, same thing. All you're really having to do from an AP perspective is validate and tab through. So, oh, hey, document date here looks really good. Let me tab on over. The document number also got picked up correctly as well. You can see in addition to that, whenever I tab through, it will skip to this section on the invoice. I tab through, the due date got picked up correctly, and now even the total amount as well. If you take a closer look, if there are any purchase orders that you guys process as well, we are able to carry that over for the purchase order matching, as you can see. So that's how fast it is with Yooz. Again, the AI will extract the data off the invoice in about 20 to 30 seconds, depending on the complexity of the invoice. And really, when you take this into consideration, you're able to do a lot more things, not just removing manual data entry, but things like increasing your accuracy on your invoice processing, doing things like capturing early payment discounts, negotiating better terms with your suppliers. There's a whole lot more that goes into this than just removing the manual data entry component of it. So this being said, all I would have to do from the AP perspective is hit submit. And then based on the workflows that you tell us who we should go to for approval, then we will be able to put that into place. One other example I wanted to show for these invoices, we have one from General Petroleum here. Same thing, I'm able to click on document date. I can tab through as I like, and I can validate that information. Over on the line information, if you wanted to allocate certain amounts, we have 3 lines down here at the bottom. For this first line, if I wanted to physically click on the image of the invoice and bring that data set over, I'm able to do so. Same thing with the second line. And then the third line will automatically calculate based on the difference between the third line and then the total amount that you have here. Not only that, we do support Excel functions as well. So if you wanted to do a simple division equation to equally disperse the 3 accounts that you have for equal amounts, then you're able to do that. You just hit enter. You're going to click on your down arrow right here, and then it will create those 3 equal disbursements. So very cool technology. One last bit that I'll show you is if you add a comment, you can eliminate further email communications internally. You can add or mention somebody within your user list. We have unlimited users here at Yooz, and you would be able to drag and drop any of this information as well. I can go ahead and send that through. So that's how easy it is. Again, we're looking for straight through processing. We just want to be able to clear these bills out of the way, get them for approval, and make sure we're maintaining our accuracy here. So I'm going to hit submit on this invoice. Now, following this, some of those items have left my to-do list and have entered my in progress list. In progress, meaning I don't have anything to do with it. However, I still have an extra set of eyes on all these invoices just to make sure nothing is falling through the cracks or anything like that. So if I go into my impersonate feature, not everyone's going to get to do this, by the way. It's just an admin feature. So I'm going to hop into the shoes of one of our approvers. So Amelia over here comes over to her screen. She has her own to-do list of invoices that Well, you guessed it, she needs to approve on her task list. So same thing, I can head into one of these invoices, which I'll show here in a bit. These invoices, they can get emailed over to you as some sort of notification for you to be able to check on, and for you to be able to know there are invoices in your queue to approve. So same thing, I can do this from my phone, on my tablet, on my computer. I click inside of here. We want to give them a very simple, easy option, right? Approve or reject. So that's what we have here. If you needed to reject it for any reason, you can always send it back. Type in your comment as to why, maybe the wrong GL account, maybe wrong cost centers. That's okay. But for right now, let me just go ahead and hit approve, and you will be good to go from there. So following this, if you wanted a more easy way to do your approvals, we can head into this complete box. I have a total of 17 invoices that I need to approve. So if I click on this top left checkbox, process automatically, that will be able to batch approve all of these invoices in my queue. So very easy. Again, we do have a caret icon here that you can click to be able to pull up your invoice image, your header fields, any line information that you may have. And so you can do everything from within this screen instead of going one by one per invoice, for this invoice processing. So since everything looks pretty good because I uploaded these files, let me go ahead and batch approve these invoices and they will be good to go. Following this, we're not going to dive too deep into it, but then is going to be our payments option. So we do offer payment services for things like virtual credit cards. You have the option to get a 0.6% cashback rebate on all your vendors that do accept that. We have options for ACH, for check, even for electronic check as well. After it's been paid inside of Yooz, we can mark the bill as paid in your QuickBooks when we go to export it. So again, with QuickBooks Online, you're not having to do anything at all. The API will sync all this information based on what your workflow says on when we should export it. So typically after payment or after approval, we will automatically export that over into QuickBooks and you will be good to go. So I know we're at about time here. Let me jump into my last slide that I had. So with this being said, again, appreciate for those watching today. Love to talk more about how we can specifically help your company with digital transformation and AP. So please reach out for a personalized demo. Hope you guys enjoy the presentation. And thanks again, Amy, for having us.
Yes, thanks, Austin. That was great.